Joining us, Democratic Senator of Pennsylvania, John Fetterman. He's a member of Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs. I'm going to get to Kristi Noem in a minute, but let's start with shutdown. A number of your Democratic colleagues are saying they're not going to vote for this funding bill unless DHS and ICE are reformed. They're saying they can't, in good conscience, add more funding to the department as American citizens are being killed. I know you disagree with that vote. I want to understand why.
Yeah, well, let's just describe this to your viewers. Now, this vote will not defund or change ICE in any way. They have $178 billion available for their funding, and that was made possible after the big, beautiful bill, which I did not vote for. Not a single Democrat in D.C. voted for that. So they have effectively unlimited money right now. So that would be a symbolic vote. But if they do vote to shut the government down, that would make that the second time to not pay the military and a lot of other kinds of critical things just for these things. So that's what we have to look at right now. About now, what I think we all hope we could unbundle them, and then we could vote on the 5, and those would be passed quickly, almost on a UC, in fact. And then now the one thing that's standalone, that's a much different situation. But no one thinks that that's going to happen, and that's going to force our government to shut down. And I stand, and I'm very proud with our military, and to push them to not getting paid again twice in 2 months. It's a very difficult situation, but it will not alter the situation with funding for ICE because, as I said, the big beautiful bill has already provided $178 billion that cannot be touched and is not part of that conversation.
I think that's a really good point to make, that they already have all the funding that they would need. I guess the other side of it is if it is bundled, the leverage you have is not funding the military, not funding a few of those other agencies, and forcing Republicans to come to the table because they want those things funded. It allows you to negotiate some stricter requirements for ICE, stricter requirements for Border Patrol to send it back to the border, to make sure that ICE needs a warrant to arrest someone or to go into a home, that they're not shooting and killing Americans on the street. Do you understand the leverage argument there?
I mean, the argument now that I think there's a rule. I don't think you should ever shut our government down, whatever the reason is. Like last year, and now they shut down and put our America through 45 days, and people really suffered, including SNAP, 42 million SNAP recipients, and now that we left with no health care. We really came away empty-handed, and now putting through that. So I think shutting our government down is fundamentally wrong. All of those changes are entirely appropriate for ICE. And then I said, I've called that they have to stand down and remove from Minneapolis, and Noem has to go. So for me, that's where we are. I don't think there's a single Democrat that thinks that ICE is doing a good job or behaving in an appropriate way. I think, and I hope we can all agree, that those two souls should be alive right now. So what's the right way to move it forward?